My name is Michael Chinedu from Mentors TV. We're having a media chat with Mr. AKINLEYE OLU-PHILIPS. He's going to talk to us about the spelling bee. He's also the director of Young Educators Foundation. Please enjoy it.
My name is AKINLEYE OLU-PHILIPS. I'm an executive director with Young Educators Foundation and also the chief executive officer of Philips Foundation. I also run a media company called PDR Media. I'm the managing partner at PDR Media Productions. Interestingly, Young Educators Foundation was founded by a Ghanaian woman, Mrs. Eugenia Tachi-Menson. She started it sometime about 11 years ago, 12 years ago in Ghana. And then in our course of work in Ghana, as she started it, I think she started having passion to come into Nigeria, you know, and our cross paths when she wanted to come and do the first edition in Nigeria. So she met with a mutual friend of mine, of ours, that encouraged her to come to Nigeria, that look, he has contact. So that's where she came to do. Then I was in Osun doing something with the Osun State government. And then she came over and we met. And my friend said, well, I can help facilitate the Osun deal to go through. So I more or less started it in Osun, packaged the entire program, and we had a fantastic edition there. And after that first year edition, you know, it's typical with anything that government gets involved with, the bits of politics started coming in, and they were going to mess the whole program for the woman. And I said, okay, you know what? Don't worry, I can help you. We can register Young Educators Foundation in Nigeria and all that. So together with her, we registered the company so that we can take it off the hand of the people that were trying to like destroy the initiative. Because I felt because when I started working on it, I realized that this just captured everything I had always desired. But I've always looked at it that, okay, I'll get into that later, much later in life. But I didn't quite realize that I had no choice but to respond to it. So we started, and the second season, the woman was even scared. Are you sure we're going to survive? I said, we'll survive. So we moved to 3 states. We did Lagos, Abuja, and Oyo, because Osun won't take us back. You know, politics has come into it, so we also left them. So and I said, okay, don't let us involve politics. Don't let us involve the government. Let's do this simply a non-governmental organization, and let's run it like a charity. So that's where we started. And we started running the program. It was tough. Initially, we had, from the first year, we had Better Malt as our sponsor, you know, and the first year also we had Indomie on board. By the second year, Indomie opted out, you know, due to some disagreement. So that's how we survived till last season. But all the while, you know, I think the Ghanaian woman, because she's not present here, you know, our expectations were not being met in terms of funding and all that. So she started growing weary, and I could see that. And but I had taken on this, and I realized that, look, this is what I wanted to do, and I've started it. So along with my communication consultancy, I was also making money and pouring it back into the foundation. So that led to the fact that, okay, you know what, I had to register my own foundation because I don't want us to get ahead in life and then we start having issues, because she's not in Nigeria, she's in Ghana, and if the foundation, Young Educators Foundation, keeps going in Nigeria, and we're not clear as to who owns what and who runs what, then we might hit a brick wall later in life. So that led me to registering my own foundation called Philips Foundation. So going forward, Philips Foundation is the one going to be running most of the programs that we are working on. Now you may ask the vision behind all this. Now, when we started with the spelling bee in Ghana and Osun, I was able to look at the program and I realized that there are salient values in the way the program is run that we should amplify and make sure that we impart the children with, so that it can take our society to the next level that we desire, because my passion is actually leadership and communication. You know, so that's why we created Philips Foundation with whose focus is leadership and communication. And we now realize that to be effective in that, we needed to start at a very young age. So the spelling bee is targeted at the age 8 to 13. That age is the age where it's most impressionable. They are most impressionable as children. So we needed to be able to teach them these values at a very early age. One of the values is that, we felt on the continent of Africa, people many times don't think through before they start projects. So we feel when we train the children to always ask questions, never assume on anything you see or you heard. When you probe further, when you dig deeper, then you can understand clearly whatever it is that is in front of you. So we felt, okay, this critical element is important. That's why in the spelling bee there are lifelines. When you're given a word, you're not expected to start spelling. You're expected to ask questions, follow-up questions, to be sure exactly which word you're being asked to spell. So these are some of the qualities we're looking at. And again, the spelling bee leads us into articulation and communication. So we also know that words are the thing that communications entails words, usage of words. So if you can use words very well, and you can be very articulate, we can start building a better society. And we remember in the 60s when our nation was being founded, you realize then in that generation we have great orators, and that's why they were able to motivate the society in a particular direction that brings about the independence and freedom for virtually the entire continent. And if you look at the landscape now, we really have such giftings amongst our leaders. It's not like our current leaders are not right or they're not good. But you see, oratory skill is one thing that you can use in galvanizing the society to the next level. So we felt, okay, we need to teach this at an early age. So what we now did is, okay, they will come to the national camp, those that qualify from across the states.
Is it zonal?
Yeah, for now, what we're doing is state by state, based on registrations.
What I mean is joint political zones.
Yeah, we ensure that the states that will make it to national finals have representations across all the geopolitical zones.
Okay.
So, for example, this year we had 13 states. So we had states from Kaduna, we had Bayelsa, we had Akwa Ibom, we had Abuja, we had Plateau, which is for this Plateau and Benue representing the Middle Belt, and we have Lagos, we have Oyo, we have Ogun. So we mix it like that, but the mixes doesn't come from us. It's based on the registration, and because of funding, we don't go on TV. Neither do we do radio or print. We just do social media marketing, so that whoever sees it online just registers. So, and we've been lucky enough to have good representations from states like that. And so for this year, for example, when we have multiple registration of over 20 schools, so we always organize the state competition. So for this year, we had about 7 or 8 state competition. We have Benue, we have Delta, we had Rivers, we had Jos, Plateau, we had Lagos, we had Abuja.
What is the criteria?
There's no criteria. As long as you have a child that's between the ages of 8 and 13, you just go online, you register at the school, then you pay a token of 5,000 naira per child to be part of the National Spelling Bee. So that's what we do. So as you register, we keep you in our database. Then when we have seen enough, so we now release, we send mails, and what we do with the spelling bee, one of our critical elements is actually the training. We train all participants before they even start the state competitions.
For a duration of how long?
3 days, 4 days, intensive training. In the last 4 years, we brought trainers from Ghana, because Ghana has been running this for like 10 years. So they had qualified people within the linguistic and English language department in Ghana that we bring in. So that's what we do with the training, with the registration. Well, after the registration has happened, we bring in trainers, then we have the 4 days training session. Then they all now go back and train the children.
C, A, C, H, E, L, O, T, cashew dots.
one of the reasons why we do the training is to understand, to make people understand that spelling is just not cramming words. Spelling has a formula to it, just the way you have formula for solving mathematics problems. For example, or the things we train teachers on are the root words. Most words have their origin in a particular language. There are German words, there are words of German origin that mix with English. There are words of German origin that mix with Latin before it becomes English. There are words of Latin origin, there are words of Greek origin. So we have 13 origin words that are now culminated in what we call the English language, in the present English language. For example, the word kwashiorkor is of Ghanaian origin. Yes, but it's an English word today. So what we are training the children to understand is, if you understand the origin of the word, so when a word is pronounced, when you use your 5 lines properly, you'll be clear as to which word. For example, the phi sound is a Greek word for F. So when you hear philosophy, you know it's student. So if you ask the question, philosophy, can you tell me the origin of the word? And they tell you it's Greek, then you know instantly, phi is PH. For example, when you hear a word, Liechtenstein, and he said, please, can I know the origin of the word? Immediately you hear it's German. Stein in German is spelled E-I-N. S-T-E-I-N, not S-T-I-N-E. So immediately you know the origin, it guides you into how those words are spelled. So many times, pronunciation alone or elocution alone may not be clear to you because we all hear differently. You understand? So the way the word comes to you, based on the tongue of the pronouncer, maybe it's quite different from the way it will come to you. That's why you see the children stand there and they're panicky. They're like, please, can you repeat the word? Can you repeat the word? But if they have been properly trained to know that these lifelines are your guide to knowing the word, then it becomes a bit easier. So when they ask, and you, for example, your word is rain. Rain, based on my tongue, could be R-A-I-N, R-E-I-N, R-E-I-G-N, based on my own elocution. We try our best to get professionals to be our pronouncers, but anything can happen. So when you are well guided, then you can know how to apply those rules. In Finland, presently, they have the best set of education, and yet the school closes at 12 in Finland. They apply a lot of fun tools, which is the reason why we had created this competition. The competition is deliberately created to, because we realize that sitting still in classrooms as the teacher instilled knowledge is becoming a bit archaic. So we need to create fun tools to use in applying. It becomes applying education, applying knowledge in such a manner that it goes beyond you writing theories, reading books. Then they're actually experiencing what you're teaching them using fun tools. So that's why we feel, okay, with these extracurricular activities of the B, the education will grow better when the children can learn more in a fun environment. Our style has been very strict, it's okay, but it's a bit getting out of fashion. It must be more inclusive. The children must be seen practicing and working with tools to actually break down what you're teaching them to them. And it becomes more permanent with them than the usual cramming pattern we have. This is why we didn't just stop at the spelling bee. We have also moved to the next stage. We just have this franchise now from the English-speaking union. We have the franchise of the International Public Speaking Competition for the ages 16 to 20, which is post-secondary and lower level university or postgraduate, post-secondary education, lower level. Most of them, 20-year-old, are either in part 1, part 2, or they just left secondary school. So 16 are just writing their WAEC and all that. So from that age to 20, 16 to 20, we have what we call the Africa Young Orators, which is more like a follow-up to our B. So as we're training them from age 8 to 13, we don't want to leave them. So the curriculum for the International Public Speaking Competition, which is the African Young Orators that we have created, is also similar to what we have for the spelling bee. We will camp them also, train them also, so that we can prepare them for 21st century global work environment. And they can be great orators, and they can build their confidence in such a manner that they can hold their own anywhere and everywhere in the world they find themselves. Spelling Bee will also be on TV this year. You know, that's why we've gone the extra mile to spend a lot of money to have a top-rate production company to produce this year's program. So it's not just going to be Spelling Bee. We have a lifestyle angle to it. We went to the children's home to interview them, interview their parents, watch them whilst they were studying and all that, so that it will be a bit entertaining on TV. If we had had brands tell us, okay, do it this way, we'll put money on the table, we would have done it long ago. But in order to woo them again now, we have gone that extra mile. Thank God for Indomie noodles, who came in for us this year. You know, if they had not, we wouldn't have had the program this year, I'm being honest. We would never have had it. So they came on board, and they also now give us a caveat. Do it right, do it well, make it appealing, and we will stay with you. You understand? So that's been our major challenge, funding this program. And we have other program sponsors too that came on board this year, but they give us products and they said, okay, we'll see what happens next year. We pray they will make good their promise, because we've been having this promise from several brands, and maybe next year they won't pick our calls again. We'll start calling all over again. Please, it's time. We need to meet with you. You know, they won't even have meetings with you. They will stop picking your calls. You know, that can be very frustrating. But we had made up our mind that we won't give up. This is, like I said earlier, this is what led to the creation of Pete Phillips Foundation. My advice to the Nigerian youth is, look, you can have all the money in this world and still not be at peace with yourself. You can have all what money can buy and still not enjoy that life you want to enjoy. You can pop all the champagnes in this world and still go back home in tears. You know, so we should change our orientation from everything about money. You should start looking about value. You should start looking at how you want to impact the other person. You should start looking at about what you think you can offer to your generation, and how your generation should know you, recognize you, and remember you. These are things that we should start thinking. We should start letting our young people know that life goes beyond big cars, big houses. There are a lot of people living in large houses that are sad, that they can't even sleep well at night. So we should amplify more these social values and let them realize that, look, you may not have money and still be at peace and enjoy life. For crying out loud, how many beds will you sleep in a night? On how many beds? Just one. How many cars can you drive at a time? Just one. So when you start considering that, are all these things worth it? When you start realizing that they are not worth it, then I think our mindset, our perception can start changing about life. And that will help our nation a lot.
I hope you've enjoyed the interview you've just watched now. My name is Michael Chinedu from Mentors TV. Please kindly subscribe to our online platform for more videos. Thank you.